Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub, Pub Sports Radio. Everybody's working for the weekend. Yes, we're working for the weekend now, every weekend moving forward. The Saturday and Sunday editions of the show are back throughout the NBA playoffs, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, and good to be here 7 days a week throughout the playoffs so we can fill your betting needs. We want to cover every game throughout the playoffs for you, so that's why we're here 7 days a week. Ian Cameron, Skee Profit, Dutch Boy Fresh, Trot Wham, ready to break it down. We're going to talk Minnesota, Memphis, Toronto, Philly, Denver, Golden State. We're also going to do Atlanta, Miami, which is the first early game tomorrow. We're going to talk about that on today's show as well, because that one will just be starting when we get on the air tomorrow. Just like right now, Utah, Dallas, they're about to throw up the opening tip for game one of that series. Just briefly, with this game just seconds from starting, I'm on Dallas plus the points. That's the one bet I made there. Skee, what did you like here at Utah, Dallas?
I played Dallas plus 5.5, and I bet under 214.5.
There we go. Of course, better number on the total. So, but still, the total's been bet down. Just make sure you're aware of that. It's down to 209 in that region. Wham, Utah, Dallas. What did you bet?
Yeah, I have Dorian Finney-Smith over 12.5 points. Over 12.5 points for DFS.
All right, and Dutch.
Back with this motherfucker, man.
There you go. All right. Great start.
Brief as a motherfucker can be.
Yeah. All right, here we go, guys. Minnesota and Memphis game one. This one is the second of the afternoon games, 3:30 Eastern. Memphis 6.5-point home favorites, 237.5 the total. I'm not going to really go crazy with overs in the first game of these series, but I do agree with the move here. I think this is going to be one of the higher scoring series in the first round. So I understand why Minnesota-Memphis total's gone up a bit from 235 to 237. Still don't love this team defensively, the Timberwolves, and I think they're going to struggle to defend the multiple options Memphis has. I mean, let's be honest. This is not just a situation where it's the Ja Morant show. You got Desmond Bane balling down the stretch. You got Dylan Brooks realizing his potential late in the season. Jaren Jackson played well. This is definitely a team here with the Memphis Grizzlies that has proven they can win with Ja, win without him, and really play a good, well-rounded brand of basketball. I think it's going to be a lot for Minnesota. I think the rest edge for Memphis helps. Minnesota had to play a play-in game, one that they celebrated like they won a championship after they beat the Clippers. I think it's a good Memphis spot, so I do like the over, but I like Memphis, and I'm going to split it up three ways. Memphis first quarter, -2. Memphis first half, -3, -3.5. And also Memphis full game here, -6.5. I think Minnesota could be somewhat competitive in this series, but I think this game one spot in particular is going to be very, very difficult for them here in this game. And Memphis, I think, makes a strong first statement here in this series today in game one. Skee, game one here, Timberwolves, Grizzlies.
Yeah, we can't forget either. In the regular season, Pat Bev was popping off like he always do. And, I'm sure as much as y'all hear me talk about Ja Morant on Twitter, I'm sure he took notice, and the rest of these guys took notice. So I think they'll bring a little extra fire. And they always had something to prove anyway, They've been good all year. I already talked about that. Timberwolves versus competition. They're 9-16 straight up. Grizzlies, what were they? Or my bad. T-Wolves on the road, 20-21. They don't even have a winning record. So this one is pretty easy for me. I'm gonna take the more rested team, the better team. I don't trust the T-Wolves. That's everybody's favorite team, but I think this one is rather easy. Home favorites, more resting their opponents in the playoffs. They win 75.9% of the time. They cover 59% of the time since as far as the database goes, which is 1995. So I like the Grizzlies in this game. And I also played the under. I think the total is more of a T-Wolves total. It's just too high for Grizzlies game. That's how I feel. Totals of 230 or more, they're 13-4 to the under. So give me the Grizz on the ski line and give me the under.
All right, Memphis, that's the money line and the first half split there for Memphis. I like the under, and that is a high total now, 237. No doubt that's a very, very high number there, especially for game one of a series. So I'm treading on a murky waters betting it over, but I do feel like it'll be a high-scoring series. Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Last stat I want to throw out there, game one playoff totals of 217 or more. They're 76% to the under since 2015.
That's
Oh, shit.
76% to the under in
Good
game one.
Lord.
Yeah, that's like 6 years, worth of playoff basketball in game one. So that's a pretty strong sample size there. Dutch, what are you liking here? Minnesota Memphis game one.
Yeah, man. Hey, real quick, salute to the ladies, gents, and DJs for tuning in. You already know it's all love. Hey, be sure to hit that motherfucking like button like I'm hitting this plane, a Candyland X, and gonna get you right where you need to be. Yeah, man. Hey, and to touch on what my man Skee said, I believe most of these these little playing games have went under too. So that kind of, and then it's only gonna rev up here in this playoff intensity basketball. Big shout out to Yay Area 415, JB Brown, Jeffrey, YM. New name in the chat. Hey, we need everybody in the chat, everybody watching though, to motherfucker hit the like button and share the video. It's a new time, so we're really counting on y'all motherfuckers to spread the word.
We're back.
If you got love for Puff Sports Radio,
yep.
Yeah, my fault. Yeah, if you got love for us, you know what I'm saying. We need you to share the video, tell your friends and fans. 10 a.m., 1 o'clock Eastern times on the weekends, motherfuckers, because we ain't trying to do this for nobody. But yeah, man, the Grizzlies is what it is, man. Everything Skee said, I'm gonna second that shit. And I love the first half -3.5, and I love the full game -6.5. There's levels to this shit, man. I told you the other day that Minnesota already done graduated. They're happy. They're on the motherfucking vacation mode right now. They might get one. I believe what'll happen is they'll lose these 2 games by about 15 to 20 points per game, and then they might show up in game 3 when Memphis is already kind of feeling themselves a little bit, and then Memphis will get right back on them like we talked about that gentleman's sweep. But the Grizzlies, man, I believe they match up very well with them. They're a deeper team. I believe Adams. The main thing I believe here is Adams and Triple J will have a big rebound advantage. Also with Clark off the bench, I just believe that they're going to be up double-digit rebounds in each and every one of these games, and especially today. Start to finish, it's Memphis 6-1 ATS last 7 at the house. They've won 10 out of 11 at the house out of the last 11. Excuse me. They're 5-0 straight up last 5 meetings versus these boys. And the Wolves, like I touched on it, they weren't playing good coming in. I believe the Clippers pressed and gave them that fucking game. And then we seen what the fucking Clippers did last night. Again, the Wolves are 2-8 ATS last 10 meetings versus these boys, and 1-5 ATS last 5 on the road. Like I mentioned, I didn't like what I really seen from Minnesota coming into the break. I believe they got lucky with the Clips, and they're going to get punked versus the Grizzlies. Now, one prop that did stand out to me with extreme value, and I haven't locked it in yet, but it does seem like it's pretty profitable, and it's on the other side actually. It's on the Minnesota Timberwolves, D'Angelo Russell. He's averaged 31 points per game in the last 4 meetings versus these cats. Over 19.5 points at -105 should be fucking pretty easy. The only way I don't see this motherfucker getting 20 is if he's on the bench in the 4th quarter because they're down 25, which is a possibility. But if you want to bet some props here, I believe D'Angelo Russell over 29 or over 19.5 points is a solid look. But we're all over the Grizzlies here, first half, full game. Grind motherfucking city.
Grind City, indeed. Like I say, I think that's a good spot for Memphis to really give Minnesota a wake-up call. You're in the playoffs now. You're playing the 2 seed.
I need money. I see you.
I think you're going to. And look, I think that Clippers win looks even worse now after the Clippers melted down in the 4th quarter again last night against New Orleans. So, like I say, I think it sets up situationally very nicely for Memphis. Wham, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think Memphis, it does. I have them in 6 games. I think you could get Minnesota to have D'Angelo Russell to have a great game, Cat along with those 2 guys, and they'd be able to steal a couple. But and Edwards probably just goes off as well again in this game. So I can see that happening. But I think Memphis just all around is going to be able to get in the paint. I know Minnesota has been playing pretty good defense as of late. To lead up into this position here, holding opponents to a really low points in the paint. And that's kind of how I look. You guys already know as far as like when I go cap Memphis. So if you could stop them from going in the paint, that's probably the way this series is going to go. I don't think the game 1 is going to tell me anything that game 2 is not going to tell me. So I think Memphis is the play here. I haven't bet this yet. I like Desmond Bane probably the most. Just kind of same reasons that Dutch said about D'Lo. I think Desmond Bane has shown all year he could go over to 19.5 as well. So I think he gets 20 points today as well. So that's the way I'm leaning here, but I haven't made a bet here.
All right, we got the game one of the Eastern Conference quarterfinal. Next up, Toronto Raptors, Philadelphia 76ers. We've got the 4-5 matchup, I think, and I said yesterday on the show, I've got 7 games at plus 190 in my pocket in this series. I think it goes the distance. I think it's a real close series, and either team winning it would not be a shock to me. We've got Philadelphia 4.5 5-point favorites here in game one. It's 216.5 the total in this game. I am on the Raptors in game one at plus 4.5 here. I think it's a tight game. I need to see Philly being able to win by margin before I trust it. It's never a bad thing for the Raptors to give a guy like Nick Nurse several days, a full week pretty much, to get his team prepared and a game plan. And whether it's box and one, whether it's zone, whether it's man-to-man, whether it's a little hybrid of both, a hybrid of all three, this guy's like a mad scientist when it comes to defensive schemes that he throws out there on the court. Like the box and one was clearly something that threw Golden State for a loop in the finals a few years ago. With a week to prepare, he's going to throw out something funky here in game one, something that Philadelphia has no idea is coming, something that Philadelphia has no idea what that they're not going to expect it. And now it's going to be about whether or not the Philadelphia 76ers can run their offense through whatever, pie in the sky defensive setup that Nick Nurse comes up with. And, people criticize him because it's not traditional defense, but hey, it's winning basketball. It gets him wins. That's what he's looking for. He's looking for things that will help his basketball team win at the end of the day. We talked about it yesterday when we previewed the show. I think the Raptors will be hard-pressed to keep Embiid in check, but I think there's a lot of other matchup advantages for the Raptors here. No one's going to stop Siakam, in my opinion. They have not been able to guard him. I like Siakam. I especially like Siakam in Toronto in terms of his player props because he's not going to have to worry about Thibault at all in those 2 games. But even today, I think Siakam still is going to get his against this Raptors team. So points and rebounds, a combination of both. You could look at that with Siakam in this game. As far as Philly is concerned, obviously, Embiid's going to be fine. What are you going to get out of James Harden? The last time he played Toronto, they basically made him a non-entity, a non-factor. He struggled in that game. He's got to elevate. He's got to step up in this game. I think the value from a betting standpoint in this series is going to be on the Raptors because they're going to be getting points in a lot of these games. And I think every game has the potential to be close, down to the wire, kind of like what we saw the last time in the regular season they played. So I definitely like the Raptors here getting points in this one. I would lean to this one being under. Philly's actually slowed it down, and Philly wants to play slow. Toronto will get out and run off a turnover. They do that quite a bit, but they could go either way. Sometimes they don't mind slowing it down a bit. They could go either way pace-wise, so I lean to the under as well, but the official play for me is the Raptors here, plus the points. Wham, we'll start with you here. Raptors, Sixers.
Yeah, I like the Raptors here as well. My thought process is not to take the series price and just take the first 2 games. Both of those will be a dog. I think if they win one of these 2 games, they're going to go into Toronto, not being the favorite that they are. I'm sorry, not being the underdog that they are right now. So I think that's the strategy that I'm going to take on within the first 2 games as far as the side. So I am on the Raptors money line at plus 160. Just to keep it frank with you, I think they win today. I think Scotty Barnes shows that he is the rookie of the year. I see that Embiid most likely not going to get the MVP, so maybe he has to be at an MVP level. He did say that he expects these guys to try to get the ball out of his hands. He has to be more of a facilitator. So I do expect that to be the case. If like you said, Toronto, the coach, Nick Nurse, he's pretty much a guru here and, try to get guys out of the game. So I think he could find a way to get him out of the game. If that's the case, then you're relying on, James Harden to be a shooter. And you guys already know how I feel about the Philadelphia shooting squad. It's just Thibault out there. And if they don't even have Thibault, it's even a little bit worse. So, Niang is the only one I believe in. So other than that, I would just say the Toronto side is the way I'm going as far as that. But I agree with you on Pascal. I am on the 23.5 points for Pascal at minus 104. And then I also took the plus money at over 29.5 points. He's averaging 30 points against them in this matchup so far. So I think he could get to 30 in this game. So Pascal over 29.5 points at plus money wherever you could get it at. Should be over plus 220 or something around there.
All right, good stuff. By the way, Toronto went 4-0 ATS this year head-to-head against Philly, including 2-0 straight up and ATS in Philly. They won both meetings in Philadelphia this year. Dutch, Raptors, Sixers.
Yeah, man. That's exactly what I was just about to say. Yeah. Shout out to our guy, Star Child. Kenny, woo, woo, woo. I see you, my dude. Zachary, J. Peasy. All right, much love for everybody joining us this morning. Yeah, man. Hey, we don't got to overthink this shit, man. I told you, we talked about it, man. I think the Raptors are a better team. I think they have a big coaching advantage. I think Doc Rivers is the most overrated motherfucking coach in the game. And then we could probably honestly go with the most overrated so-called motherfucking superstar in James Harden. I mean, I can't believe what they motherfucking gave up for this cat. But that's another story, man. They've handled them. They really have handled the Sixers this year already. Ian just touched on a 4-1. They're 3-1 straight up this year. All 3 wins. They were dogs. They won outright. You know, they're 3.5-point dogs very recently without OG and Van Fleet. You know, they got 30 and 10 from Embiid, shot almost 50% from the field. 19 3-pointers. Danny Green knocking in fucking 6 3-pointers. When's the last time that motherfucker did that? Man, probably UNC. But you know, then we got, you got Maxey knocking in 4 out of 5 from the trade. They're not going to do that again. I just don't see it. You know, Embiid did his thing. He'll do his. But this number that you got the values on Toronto. And the crazy thing is I see a 5 out there in the offshore. So I'm just going to sit back, chill. 4.5 is a beautiful thing. Give me the 5-piece and I'm all over it. The Raptors to me are real good money here. I just think they're just a better team, really. 5-1 ATS last 6 after a double-digit loss, and we know they did come off a loss here, I believe, to the Knicks. But the Sixers, man, they haven't even really been that good overall at home either. They're 17-24 against the number at the house, 1-4 overall ATS last 5. But I just believe you'll be able to attack these motherfuckers from the defensive perspective. They don't have anybody to guard outside of Thibault. They really don't. And then you got so many cats you could throw at James Harden. It's going to be a nightmare for him. Like I mentioned, it's kind of not a very good matchup for Embiid. He'll get 30 plus. So he get his. No one else gets anything else, really. I see it. And if you like props here, I believe someone in the chat, Salva, kind of did like the Van Fleet points and assists. Yeah, I would look points, man. He's only played 1 game this year versus the Sixers, and he dropped a 30-piece on them. And when I look at the matchups, it looked like James motherfucking Harden is going to be guarding this dude. So it's a green light for Freddie Van Fleet. Over 18.5 looks like real good money to me. But yeah, just attack whoever the fuck James Harden's guarding on the offensive end and try to get him beat in foul trouble and hit them boards. Scotty Barnes, all these young cats, they're hungry, out rebound them and guard that perimeter. And this game should be a win for Toronto. But give me the points because I wouldn't be shocked if Philly pulls out, the game at home, game 1.
Yeah, it should be a good one. I mean, this whole series should be pretty good. And don't underestimate OG Anunoby, too, being healthy, finally. And a guy that was on that championship team with the Raptors with Lowry and Kawhi and everybody a few years ago, 2019. So definitely good stuff. And speaking of good stuff, especially for our guy Wham, DFS, and I'm not talking daily fantasy sports. I'm talking about Dorian Finney-Smith, 6 points. He just hit a big 3 a couple minutes ago. So there you go. Wham's guy off to a nice start for the Mavs here. Skee, what do you think here? Raptors, Sixers, game 1.
The only bet I'm gonna have for this individual game is gonna be Siakam over his points. I think you guys already talked about it enough, but he has a good matchup. I'll probably play this, for sure when he goes back to Toronto, like you said, Ian. But I'm on it today at 23.5, and I took Raptors on the series. The more the series goes on, the more I trust them, and I think James Harden. I don't really trust him at all, but he could be good for 1 game or early in the series. So I'm gonna stick with those bets. Only bet for this game, Siakam.
All right, good stuff. All right, next up, we've got Denver and Golden State, Western Conference quarterfinal, game 1. This is the nightcap tonight, ABC. We've got Golden State currently 6.5-point home favorites in New Oracle and San Francisco, 223 the total in this game. Last we've heard, and we talked about this yesterday, Curry will play through the foot injury that he's been dealing with. He's expected to play, will be on a minutes limit, but it's not clear how many minutes that minutes limit is for Steph Curry tonight. But we will see him on the floor for at least some amount of time tonight with Klay Thompson in that starting backcourt for sure. Obviously, that's significant to Golden State to have him available, even if it's not for the full 48-minute duration. I lean to this over. I know I talk about the unders in game one. That's always the thing that makes me want to shy away is the strong under trend. But I don't know if Golden State's got an answer for Jokic or in the post. And I don't know if Denver's perimeter defense is all that good enough to contain Curry and Thompson. At times it's been good. At times it's been awful for the Denver Nuggets. So I think there's offensive advantages both ways. I'd lean over this number here, 223. As far as the game one side goes, I'm not laying it with Golden State, but I'm not taking Denver either. It's kind of a wait and see here for me in game one. See how this game plays out. We'll see. A JM, $10 dono. We got to get that train going. JM, thank you for the dono. There we go. We appreciate it, JM. Thank you very much for the $10 dono. So for me, other than maybe a small lean to the over, I don't have a whole lot this game. This is the one game that I'm kind of taking a wait and see approach in game one. We'll see how it happens, and I'll probably have a much stronger opinion on game two. Sometimes there's series like that where I want to see game one play out, and then I'll come back in game two, and I'll probably have a pretty strong opinion on game two based on what happened in game one. So that's probably the way I'm going to approach it here with Denver and Golden State. Skee, what do you think of your game one Nuggets Warriors?
Can I go last on this game?
Yeah, all right, that's fine. Dutch, how about you?
Yeah, man. Can I go last on this game? Hey, shout out to our guy X Nizzle. I see you, my dude. Cheshire Cat in the house. Yeah, man. I told you what I thought about this motherfucking series yesterday, right? So I mean, if you want to be lazy with this motherfucking shit, which I really am with this series, I ain't gonna lie to you. I give you a little two-piece. Moneyline Grizzlies, Moneyline Warriors, -1 on motherfucking 5. If you want to bet this game. And then of course our guy Ray Charles, not in the chat right now, but points, rebounds, and assists. He's touched on Joker. I believe we've all kind of touched on it. They don't really have nothing for him. So you could probably look that way, but I mean, if the Warriors are healthy, man, come on now. We'll see though. We got to watch and see.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to watch and see. That's why I watch and see. I mean, you got to lay 6.5 with them, and I'm not totally comfortable doing that personally. What do you think? Why I'm here, Denver, Golden State?
It's strange though, because the way I look at this game is if they are healthy, we wouldn't care about the 6.5. We actually would be like, why is it 6.5? We you know what I'm saying? We were like, why is it 6.5? This is a little suspect. That's how I'm trying to wrap my head around. To be honest though, bro, like I think Jokic probably is not gonna play that good today. I think maybe Draymond is healthy. Maybe Draymond is healthy, and he's the defender. Trying to show everybody like, hey man, this y'all MVP.
You think Draymond got something for Joker?
This y'all king. He got the opportunity to be like, this y'all king, and we really steamroll the Denver just because of the matchup. I mean, just think about it. He can be on an island with Steph all night, bro. They could figure out a way to get the switches off on Jokic. Now he's on the island with Steph, bro. They could figure that out. He has to be on the floor. You know what I mean? Like I could definitely see this. This is a playoff series. That's the disadvantage right there. You know what I mean? Like they can't do nothing but have him on the court. He's the engine on the offense. So I think Jokic may not have that good of a series here, especially if you get those guys to be able to switch. Other than that, that's the way I'm looking.
All right, there we go.
Draymond ain't got nothing for the Joker, bro. I'm sorry, man. Joker busted his ass, bro.
I keep thinking it's going to be still tough for Draymond. I think again he'll do his best he can, and we know that guy is
down syndrome Draymond.
Not going to back down from anybody, but it's still a tough ask. I think for him to hold him in check for the duration of the game and the series is not going to be easy. Skee, what do you think? Denver, Golden State.
Well, first I'll say I'm betting over in the first half, 114. Denver's the second best. I forgot. My fault. Yeah, you got to. Denver's the second best first half over team. They're I know like their last 10, they've been getting closer to like 120-ish. So I think it's too short for them. And the Warriors, they've been scoring a little bit lower just because they've been playing better defense and Steph hasn't been in the lineup. So I think both teams will score here. Nuggets not great defensively. So that's my first bet. And secondly, I don't know. I just see so much love for the Nuggets. Maybe it's a lot of people betting the Warriors too, but Like people forgetting the Warriors only lost like 10 games at home all year. And they played a lot of games with Steph Curry, without Steph Curry, without Draymond. And they're gonna have everybody this time. Like people looking at, yeah, the Nuggets beat them a few times this year. They never on all those games, I don't think they had the full lineup once. Like it was always Steph was out, or Draymond, Iggy, Gary Payton Jr. is out. Like they missing a lot of players every time they play them, and the Nuggets barely won. In the games, I would ask y'all like, who's gonna win this game? Like, fuck the points, who's winning? Because the Nuggets, out of their 14 losses,
Yeah.
as a dog, they haven't covered any of them. If they're gonna lose, it's gonna be by margin. It's they lose by average 14 points per game, I think. And the Warriors, they win by average 14 points per game, and that might have been at home. Um, so at the house with everybody healthy, I looked at when Steph and Draymond were in the lineup versus 55% when teams are better because that's what they're facing today. So far this season, they're 7-1 straight up, 6-2 against the spread. Like Wham said, if they are healthy, which I think they are, Clay's saying, Steph looks good in practice, they scrimmage, etc., etc. We would be like, why is it 6.5? It should be more. So I like the Warriors minus the 6.5. I thought I was going to stay off yesterday, just waiting to see how Steph's going to come out to play, but reading more reports about how he looked and all that. And I trust the Warriors defense. When they're healthy, like I said, when all their actual defenders are out there, they'll be able to lock down when they need to. So I'm going to be on the Warriors minus the 6.5, but I do like the first half over as well.
All right, good stuff. All right, our final game on this show today, it's going to be the first game tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. It'll be starting just as we start our Sunday show. Eastern Conference quarterfinal game 1, Atlanta Hawks, Miami Heat. We've got Miami 6.5-point home favorites in game 1, 216.5 the total in this game. This is a tough turnaround for Atlanta, even tougher than Minnesota because they played 2 play-in games. They played on Wednesday against Charlotte. Then they had to travel to Cleveland on Friday, beat the Cavaliers, come back from a bad first half to beat Cleveland, and they had a great second half in that game. And now you got to turn around, go down to Miami for game 1 on an early Sunday start, 1 p.m. Eastern time, while Miami's just been sitting back, rested, waiting for your ass to come down there. So think about the situational edge this is for Miami. I could only back Miami here in game 1, but there's something I also think momentum means something. And Atlanta's coming in here off 2 nice wins, 2 good performances. This was a team that did get to the conference finals last year. This is a team with playoff experience. All these guys were there last year for them. And that's something that's going to maybe help them to at least be competitive here in Miami against Miami. Do I think they're going to win the series? Probably not, but I think that's going to help them be competitive. One thing you got to look for, though, is Clint Capella's status. It's significant because Bam Adebayo is a problem area for the Atlanta Hawks if Clint Capella is banged up and unable to go here. And of course, Capella got injured last night against Cleveland. So watch that status. They say he escaped big time damage to that right knee with the injury. He's going to go through an MRI today to determine the extent of the injury. So we'll know more later today about Clint Capella and whether he's going to be good to go for game 1 and beyond against the Miami Heat. But if he's not, obviously that's a problem because, with the Heat, what they can do with Tucker, and Tucker's going to play, by the way. There was concern from Miami that Tucker would miss game 1, but he's going to be good to go. So you got to contend with your 7 and Adebayo and Dedmon and Tucker. And, that's going to be an issue if Capella's not out there tomorrow in game 1 for Atlanta. I lean Miami kind of like I do with Memphis, first quarter, first half, full game. I would probably split it up between all 3. I like Memphis more than I do Miami in game 1, but I would lean a little bit toward the Heat if I were to get involved. I think an X factor for Miami, and not only this series, but moving forward, if they're going to make a deep run, could we get maybe a little bit of the glimpse of the old Victor Oladipo at some point in these playoffs? This is a guy that before all the injuries, we were singing his praises and talking about how this guy was becoming a bona fide star in the league at one point. And of course, he's been riddled with injuries. He's been missed so much time and missed so many games. But down the stretch, he was really starting to light it up for Miami. He had a 40-point game against Orlando late in the season. what can they get out of him? I mean, if they can get something from Oladipo, coming off the bench and giving them an offensive lift, I mean, that's going to go a long way for Spoelstra and this Miami team. So keep an eye on him. There might be some player prop value with him in this series. We'll see. What do you think here? We'll start with Dutch on this one. Game 1 tomorrow, Atlanta, Miami.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Gerald Jones, G Martinez. Man. Hey, let's run up that like button, though, man. We don't got no motherfucking likes. This shit is depressing. Come on now. I know it's early. And y'all always lazy as fuck, but I expect even more laziness on an early
Hit that
Saturday
like
morning.
button. Come on.
I ain't mad at you, but I will tell you one more motherfucking time. But yeah, man, I'd be lying if I can't talk about this game, man. I haven't even looked at the motherfucker yet. I'm worried about today. What I will say though is shout out to motherfucking Trey. What do they say? Skee text me. What do they say? Trey Way. I guess they say now. Mr. Thompson said it in the chat. Hey man, I'll fuck with it. I talk a lot of shit about little Trey, but I give him his props and what I say. The motherfucker shows up. He's clutch, and I like what I've seen. And real is real, man. I gave him props before this, and you see, I went to the window with his ass the other night, or last night, and I backed his ass. And I text Skee. I was like, man, this little motherfucker gonna show up. Hey, like with it. And right after that, I ain't gonna lie, man. This motherfucker had 20 points within a blink of an eye. And he has arrived. And I was like, oh, yes, he has. Yes, this little motherfucker has. Hey, so big shout out to Mr. Trey Way. Yeah, man, I say it. But yeah, we'll cap this. I'll cap this game tonight, man, after we hit these motherfuckers over the head. And yeah, we'll give you a little bit of something in the morning.
Yeah, and by the way, we're going to be on the air just minutes. We're going to start tomorrow's show just before that game starts, so we'll get Dutch's final opinions, final takes on that Atlanta-Miami game 1 tomorrow before it starts. Like I said, I would be Miami for me, first quarter, first half, full game if I'm getting involved with it. Wham, how about you tomorrow, Atlanta-Miami?
Yeah, I think I do like the Hawks, man. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe not the first game. I think they possibly lose the first game.
I think they could be a good bet in game 2, Wham.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
thinking. They
got
to fill them out.
Yeah.
And you know what I want to say as well, like Nate McMillan did mention after the game that Bogey's trying to get into like a leadership role, Bogdanovich there. So if he gets into a leadership mode, I mean, it helps out the bench, bro. You know what I mean? It's only going to help out the team. I think that they need somebody else to be consistent, because when you get Trae Young to have one of those 10-point halves like he did, you need him to have 25. You know what I'm saying? In the second half, to even be able to, get out and grind out that game. So that was interesting as well to see, like you said, Dutch, like he was quick to go hit your boy Skee. I'm like, hey man, he only got 10 points, but I understand, like, what I mean? I understand though. I understand. I already know, because that's all you like.
This
He
is
really,
guy,
he really converting now. Now he really converting. We about to put the water on my boy now. He really converting now. No, but it was amazing to see, and that's the reason why I think they can be live in this series. Miami Heat. I mean, I like the Tyler Hero thing. I like Max Strus, Year 7, all those guys. It was a great story this year. I believe that when it really gets down to it, when those other guys have the keys to the engine, that's when it starts to fall off. I think that Jimmy Butler, when he's out there, and the moment gets a little bit big, I think that it really can't get those guys over the hump. And I think you may see that from this Sox team, because they got Trae Young. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little scrappy, they pull out some games. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a 7-game series, man. Hawks pull it out, bro.
Wow, Atlanta live in this series, says Wham, potentially in this one. I will say this, like I said, I think this sets up very nice. I just don't love this situation in game 1 for Atlanta. When you play Wednesday at home, you go to Cleveland for a Friday, you got to scramble on the fly to prepare for Cleveland. You got to scramble on the fly for Miami in game 1, going from a Friday night to an early Sunday afternoon tip. That's tough. That really is. My hope is I take Miami tomorrow. They beat the shit out of Atlanta. And then I'm going to get more points with Atlanta in game 2 in a bounce back spot. And I think that could be a good bet on spot for Atlanta. Hawks plus the points in game 2 if they're down 1-0 coming off a blowout loss in game 1. That's my ultimate dream scenario, because I think that's a good betting situation if we get something like that, maybe to look Atlanta in game 2. Skee, what do you think here, game 1, Atlanta-Miami?
I agree with you. I think, Heat are extremely rested. Hawks, they just played a couple play-in games. They're down their starting center. This may be a game where, it gets out of hand and they just sit everybody so they could kind of rest them for the next game. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully they can get Capella back in that game. I know he's supposed to have an MRI or something today to see, exactly what happened. But they said they're optimistic that it was no significant damage. So I agree with what you're saying. Probably play Miami the first game and then play Atlanta the next game, because I think this will be a competitive series. If I got to put my money on who will win, it would be Miami, but I don't think it'll be easy. As far as the total, I think, Atlanta's defense is going to suffer without Capella out there. There should be a lot of easy baskets out there, even though, they showed they played a little bit of defense yesterday. But I don't know. I just can't help but think without Capella down there, it's going to be easier. So I'm leaning towards over. The number is 217. It's already gone up 1.5 points. So it looks like the market agrees. That's probably the way I look to play it as well.
All right. So, this is one of those. There's only a couple of games, game ones here, where the total's actually gone up. Minnesota, Memphis, it went up. Atlanta, Miami, the total's gone up. Every other total in the first game one in these series has gone down and been bet to the under. So that's interesting. But Skee agrees with this one that maybe the over's worth a look. By the way, I was just shaking my head a minute ago. Absolutely brutal call just now on Dallas in this game. Terrible. About as bad as it gets. And I would have said it if I was betting Utah in this game. Honestly, it was that bad of a call. But hey, you deal with that when it comes to officiating in the NBA. But nevertheless, great stuff. Fun to be on with you guys on weekends now, the rest of the season and the playoffs. 124 live viewers. Hit that like button. We appreciate it. Remember, we're back tomorrow at the same time on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, with another edition of the NBA Pub Hub playoff edition right here on Pub Sports Radio. We'll wrap this shit up in a couple minutes with best bets, Dutch's freshest look coming up. Southtown 101, when you're in San Antonio, Texas, stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke, Manscaped, promo code PubSports, 20% off your purchase. Lawnmower 4.0, any Manscaped product, 20% off with promo code PubSports. And mybookie.ag, you know it, NBA playoffs are here, MLB daily, NHL, the playoffs are going to start in a couple weeks, UFC every weekend for the most part, USFL football. If you love football betting, here's your chance. USFL kicks off tonight. So lots going on. Sign up for an account, mybookie.ag. Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit, mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. All right, best bets, Dutch's freshest look here to wrap it up for this first Saturday playoff edition of the NBA Pub Hub. Wham, let's start with you. What do you like for best bet?
We're going to go with Pascal Siakam over 23.5 points. He's averaged 30 points against this team this season. Let's get it, man. Pascal Siakam over 23.5 points.
All right, Siakam for the Raptors over 23.5 points. Best bet for Wham. Dutch, freshest look.
Yeah, man. Freshest look. You already know, man. It's the weekend. It's grind motherfucking mo. So where else to go but grind motherfucking city? And I got the 2-piece, 1 unit on each. We're going motherfucking Grizzlies first half, -3.5. Grizzlies full game, -6.5. That's good money.
All right, Memphis first half full game split, -3.5 first half, -6.5 full game. Memphis Grizzlies, grind city for Dutch, freshest look. Skee, best bet.
Yeah, for the sake of giving something different here, I'm going to just go ahead and lock in that Heat tomorrow. I talk about it all the time. Home favorites with more rest than their opponent. Atlanta's real tired out there. Give me the Heat tomorrow.
All right, Miami.
I took ski shit.
There you go. And this could be a game, too. You like the full game even more than early for Miami. Wear down in the third and the fourth quarter as the third game in 1, 2, 6 days catches up to you if you're Atlanta. So yeah, full game Miami Heat for Skee with his best bet -6.5 against Atlanta. My best bet is I'm gonna stay close to home. Toronto Raptors here, +4.5 against the Philadelphia 76ers. There was some fives out there. I'm seeing though it's mostly 4.5 now. So we'll make it official at +4.5. Toronto Raptors against Philadelphia. Philly could win, but I think it's a tight game regardless of who wins. And that's enough for me. It should be a close, hard-fought, contested series. Raptors in game one, +4.5 against the 76ers for my best bet. And that'll wrap up this edition of the NBA Pub Up, our first weekend edition here in the playoffs. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us. Hit the like button on the way out. We'll be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific for our Sunday NBA Pub Up show. We'll break down what do we got? Brooklyn, Boston. How good's that going to be? Chicago, Milwaukee, and Phoenix, and New Orleans. We'll talk those games tomorrow right here on the Sunday NBA Pub Up. Bobano, I gelled my hair into it. And people love the gel. They do. I don't think they love my hair. They love the gel that I use on it. I think that's what they appreciate more.
Kenny's a character, man.
Kenny's great. Kenny's lots of fun down there in San Antonio. Check out Kenny.
Yeah, you're a wild boy.
They've got a good show going for sure.
Salute to Teflon Don, too. Appreciate the kind words, my guy.
We do. We appreciate all of you. We thank you for joining us. Hit that like button, and we appreciate you guys joining us on the weekends as well. For Skee Profit, Dutch Boy Fresh, Trot Wham, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy the games and good luck. Cash some tickets. We'll be back tomorrow on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific for another NBA Pub Up playoff edition right here on Pub Sports Radio. Dutch, take us home.
Yeah, man. You know where it's at, Pub Sports Radio. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the motherfucking video. Yo, salute to the real ones. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed. Let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest. Yeah, man.